Now broadcasting from his hidden bunker and fully stocked bar, it is the Saturday Report with Colt Sebastian Taylor.
Thank you and welcome once again, my friends, to the Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor, adventurer, entrepreneur, and amateur vegan cook. And welcome to AWSM Radio, an independent digital-only radio station that plays today's best music, old school classics, along with a rotating cast of all-star DJs. AWSM Radio focuses on mainstream artists, independent artists, along with a variety of interesting talk and music shows throughout the day. All we do here is entertain, inspire, and inform. And my friends, I want to engage with you and have you be part of the conversation. So find me on the Twitter, on the Instagram, on the Rizzle at Colt S. Taylor, and catch up with everything that I'm doing at ColtSebastianTaylor.com. And my friends, I'm now on Cameo, so you can book me for personal messages or insults. I've had some interesting ones. All right, my friends, let's get started with this week's Saturday Report. First up, my friends, we go to Cincinnati. Yes, Cincinnati, the home of that one show in the 70s with the radio station. But anyways, enough about, old TV shows. I'm talking about drugs. Yes, drugs. Apparently, a narcotic detector dog with the U.S. Customs and Border Protection found cocaine, about almost $3 million of cocaine. Now, listen, dogs that find drugs, it's not unusual. That's what they're trained for. They get their treats. They can be a good boy and whatnot. But where they found this cocaine was interesting. It was in breakfast cereal, and it was in a haul of Frosted Flakes that was frosted with, I would say, something that would have a lot of return customers. I mean, you usually don't get Frosted Flakes in blocks of kilos and whatnot. But anyways, they were going around. Dog goes its usual patrol, checking out shipments and whatnot, and barked at this shipment of Frosted Flakes. They open it up, like, okay, it's just cereal. But they're like, wonder what that powder is in there for. Turned out it was cocaine. It was a shipment of frosted cereal flakes going from South America to Hong Kong, and they stopped it in Cincinnati. I don't know why food's going from South America to Cincinnati to Hong Kong. I guess it's part of some, I guess that's how crime works. But this is not the most unusual way they've attempted to ship or smuggle drugs through countries. Some unusual ways denoted by the Customs and Border Patrol include inside a wig, a pair of fake buttocks, so someone's wearing a fake butt and had drugs in there, hollowed out pineapples, and then finally some drug mules were pretending to be nuns and hid under their habits. No, not their drug habits, but the thing that goes over nuns' heads. They're called habits. I don't know why. But, yep, Frosted Flakes, that's really one way to get customer loyalty. Boy, I bet they're very addicting. But tried to ship cocaine through Frosted Flakes, but Pico, the drug dog, you weren't fooling that four-legged friend. Not at all. Moving along in the world of illicit drugs, Emma Cornell was arrested upon arrival at Dulles International Airport this week. Who is this lady? Well, she is the wife of El Chapo, noted notorious cartel drug boss. She was arrested when she arrived in the United States today and up on drug charges. Now, apparently, from reading into this a wee bit more, cooperation between Mexico and the United States have cooled recently. Apparently, a few months ago, a former defense official was arrested in Los Angeles, accused of being part of a drug cartel, but Mexico lobbied for that person's release, and they sent him back to Mexico. But she arrived today, well, not today, but this week, and was arrested on drug charges. El Chapo, as you may remember, is a famed, notorious cartel boss, noted for escaping prison multiple times. One time, apparently, just sort of walking out, became somewhat of an anti-hero in Mexican culture down there, and this was his wife, and she, unlike him, unlike him, El Chapo tried to stay out of the spotlight, as one would, being a drug cartel boss. You don't really want to telegraph where you are and what's going on. But she has gravitated towards the spotlight, launching a fashion line, has an Instagram feed, has, sort of built upon the fame and whatnot. She is currently 31. Her and El Chapo have 2 9-year-old twins, apparently. And she met El Chapo when he was 51 and she was 17. Apparently, El Chapo, though, however, has many mistresses, as drug cartel bosses tend to do sometimes. But she is currently arrested up on drug trafficking charges in Virginia. No word yet on what exactly this means between U.S. and Mexico relations. Mexico likes to be given heads up when people of notable notoriety get arrested. Apparently, the president of Mexico visited El Chapo's elderly mother briefly. Got a little criticism for that. She wanted a visa so she could visit her son in the United States, who's currently in jail, and the Mexican president said he would work on that. So it's a very complicated, I guess you could say, relationship with all that going on down there. And then, in fact, even though that El Chapo is in prison, his sons continue to apparently run his organization. In fact, a few years ago, when was that? Several years ago, his son was arrested in Mexico, and the cartel put out a significant number of gunmen out onto the street, kind of took over a small city, forcing the government to release him back into the wild because the bunch of cartel gunmen took over the city. Like, we can't have that. So they decided to quietly release him to prevent further bloodshed. So, but anyways, this lady who is 31 and worth more money than I can even imagine is arrested in Virginia on drug charges. Interesting to see what exactly where this goes and what happens here. Next, folks, we go to Kanye West. Yes, your headquarters for all things Kanye West on AWSM Radio. Kanye West and Kim Kardashian, I'm sorry to be the one to break it to you, my friends, but they're getting a divorce. Yes, they're both to be back on the market. Which one would you go on a date on? But Kim Kardashian has officially filed for divorce. They are married in 2014, have 4 children together. Things have not been going well for the last few months. When Kanye West was running for president this year, as you may remember, things got a little weird. Things got a little weird with him, and apparently Kim Kardashian has had enough. They're trying to have the divorce be as amicable as divorce can be. Kanye West suggested that he wanted a divorce in July after a bunch of very odd tweets. Afterwards, Kim Kardashian said in a statement, quote, "As you many know, Kanye has bipolar disorder. Anyone who has this or has a loved one in their life who does knows how incredibly complicated and painful it is to understand. I kindly ask the media and public give us the compassion and empathy that is needed so we can get through this." And apparently, she has had enough. I don't know who is going to benefit more from this. I feel like Kim Kardashian's going to come out on top here because Kanye West is kind of a weird dude. Apparently, the weeks following up to this official filing, there have been reports of stuff being moved out, so to speak. Apparently, Kanye West had 500 pairs of sneakers taken out of his house. That's 1,000 shoes. I don't even know what 1,000 shoes looks like. You could with 500 pairs of shoes, you could wear a different pair of shoes every day of the week, every day of the year, and still have a half a year worth of shoes left over. I understand people collect sneakers. I don't understand why you would have a display of shoes that you would never wear. But then again, I don't understand people collecting things as it is. So, ladies, Kanye's back on the market. Fellas, Kim Kardashian, she's back on the market. Play it cool, you guys and gals. They probably need a friend, and you might just end up in another Kanye West video or have a cameo in Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Is that still a show? Is that a show? I don't know. I've never seen it. In other celebrity music news, Daft Punk, the Paris duo, popular for some very popular dance and pop songs, have split up after 28 years. You may know them as the musicians that always wear robot masks. They might actually be robots. Hard to say. But they've broken up after 28 years. There has been no reason for their breakup, but, 28 years are a pretty good, it's a pretty good run. They are known for their, some of their most famous songs is One More Time, Harder, Better, Faster, Stronger. They started to wear their sort of robot masks in 2001, so pre-2001, they didn't wear masks, but after that, that was their shtick, and that was their branding. And I tell you what, it was awfully good branding. They made a cameo in the Tron movie as, of course, musicians, and actually did the soundtrack for that entire movie, which is a very good soundtrack, if you ask me. I've enjoyed their work. They announced their breakup in an 8-minute video, which I have to say I didn't watch the entire video because it's 8 minutes, and it's a lot of them walking around in the desert and sort of staring at each other, and then one turns the switch on into one of them, and one of them walks away and then explodes. So I don't know if there's symbolism there. I mean, it's a very well-produced video, but, it's 8 minutes long. It's come on, guys. But they are now no more. No reason, like I said, for them breaking up. They also helped some other artists with some music. They worked with Nile Rodgers, Pharrell Williams. They also have worked with Kanye West again and The Weeknd. And, so they are no more. They've broken up. Who knows if they'll get back together? Who knows? I mean, they're robots. You can always put them back together, I guess. But Daft Punk is now Daft Done. And they have officially broken up after 28 years together. I mean, hey, a lot of marriages don't even last that long. So congratulations, Daft Punk. I'll be listening to you later today. In more celebrity news, Emma Watson. Yes, Hermione Granger from Harry Potter. Her name was flying around this week because there was a rumor that she had retired from acting. Yes, retired from acting. Well, her agent shot down this rumor, saying that although her social media accounts are dormant, her career is not. Rumor has it she's taking a few steps back to spend more time with her fiancé. Yes, not Ron Weasley, but her fiancé, some guy named Leo. Emma Watson, as you know, not only was in Harry Potter, but was in Beauty and the Beast and a whole slew of other movies and whatnot, such as The Circle. The last one she did was with Little Women. That was a very good movie as well. I mean, she's been acting since she's been 10 years old, so she has quite a career. She's worth apparently $80 million, so she doesn't need to work. She's got plenty of money, and apparently, and I did not know this, but she is, I guess, from what I've read, very much involved in the whole legalized cannabis industry in California, got involved with that, and is, making a nice living doing that, and got on the ground floor of that. Very impressive. But lots of folks were sad to hear that she could possibly be retiring, saying that they did not appreciate her acting as much as they should have. But, like I said, her agent shot down the rumors, saying, nope, she's just taking a step back, spending some more time with her boo, her rumored fiance, Leo Robinson, and we'll be back sometime soon. But there are no active projects going on with Miss Emma Watson. So when I heard that she was retiring, I was shocked, to be honest with you. Like, oh my goodness, Emma Watson, she's very good. But hey, listen, if I was worth $80 million, if I had been working since I was 10 years old, I would probably want a break. I want to take a little bit of a break and then, pop back up. I'm sure she will be back. I'm sure she'll be back. She deserves a break. It's COVID-19. Why tromp across the world to film movies when you can just lay back, sit on your pile of money, and sort of just wait things to clear up and then find a project that you like. So, hey, Emma, I'm sure you're a listener. Miss Watson, can I call you Emma? I don't want to call you Emma. take as much time as you need, my friend, and enjoy life. Enjoy life. The final celebrity story today, my friends, unless I come back to the subject, Lady Gaga, who you may know as a great singer and artist and sang at the inauguration earlier this year. Well, her dogs have been kidnapped. And you may not have heard this, but her professional dog walker, a gentleman named Ryan Fisher, was walking her dogs this week when I guess folks popped out of a BMW, shot him 4 times, and kidnapped 2 of the 3 dogs that he was walking, and drove off with them with French bulldogs. Lady Gaga is very attached to these dogs. She has offered a $500,000 reward for their return. Ryan Fisher is in grave condition at the hospital. I mean, he's been shot 4 times. It's pretty serious. He has not passed away, but he is in very serious condition. Police got him just in time to get him to the hospital. And this is a weird story. This is a weird one. I mean, you generally don't see people pop out of BMWs, kidnap French bulldogs, shoot the dog walker, and drive off. Apparently, the FBI is poking around in this, thinking that it could be politically motivated since she sang at the inauguration. These bulldogs are, these are French bulldogs, and they can go for $10,000 each. So there could be some money involved with this. But apparently, Ryan Fisher, this person who moved from New York to LA to specifically care for Lady Gaga's dogs. He's like a professional dog walker and dog caretaker. I mean, if you have that kind of money, you hire someone to take care of your dogs while you're out and about. But this was his profession. Friends say he would literally lay down his life to care for these dogs. He's a very much dog person. And apparently, though, he was wrapping up his gig with her. He was going to retire from the dog walking, dog carrying business and pursue his art in the next few months. So it's a very, very weird, very sad story. I certainly hope he makes a full recovery and whatnot. But this still has not been resolved. These dogs have not been returned. I haven't seen any stories about the clues about what's going on. Like I said, he was walking 3 dogs. They took 2. 1 got away, was found later. And Lady Gaga is putting out $500,000 for their return. She said, please return my dogs. No questions asked. I'm sure the police would probably want a few questions with them. But this is a strange one. This could just be a random act of dog napping, or there could be something more into it. So I'll be following this. I'll keep this story is tagged, highlighted for me. See what happens here. I certainly hope the dogs are returned and the folks that shot Ryan Fisher get arrested and charged and whatnot. You shouldn't shoot people over dogs. That's crazy. But that's a weird one. That's a weird celebrity news. Don't know whether this was they're hoping to get her and let's get the dogs on purpose, or just like, hey, those are French bulldogs. I get $20,000 for them. I'm sure that guy won't put up a fight. But this is a really, really weird celebrity story with missing dogs, a $500,000 reward. So I will give you updates as they come in next week, if there's any updates. But hopefully everyone involved in here will have a positive outcome. Speaking of positive outcomes, my friends, today is Saturday. You're listening to me. Last night, I can only assume. In fact, I hope to Odin himself that you were listening to DC live in effect right here at AWSM Radio. DC is our in-house DJ, mixing it up not only on Fridays at 9 p.m., but also Sundays at 10 p.m. Fridays at 9, Sundays at 10. It's pretty easy to remember. You do not want to miss out while he smashes it on the 1s and 2s, kicking the beats from his South Florida compound. I mean, he doesn't have dog walkers. He has a slew of people just walking records around to him and whatnot. Listen, there's class, there's fame, and there's DC, my pal, He's the best. And you should be listening to him right here at AWSM Radio, Fridays at 9 p.m. and Sundays at 10 p.m. DC, live in effect. We now go from Florida to Mars, the red planet, where NASA successfully landed a new probe there, Perseverance. And I'll tell you what, it is a pretty amazing. You may not have heard this, but they launched this probe. It parachuted down onto the planet, and then it gently lowered this car-sized rover with the probe shot rockets and slowly lowered it down using parachutes and rockets. So it did slam to the ground, and then it took off, and then the probe sort of crashed off the side and landed this amazing probe to sort of roll around on Mars, take samples and pictures. Some of the best high resolution pictures you've ever seen there. And my friends, there's a microphone. So prepare to hear the first sounds from Mars. Here it is. Here we go. That's it. I mean, obviously, it's not like there's a band playing there or anything like that. But yeah, they caught a wind gust. They heard some wind. The sound of the rover sort of just moving along there. Plan to do some pretty amazing things up there. Do some chemistry testing. The cameras can analyze rocks up to 20 feet away. There's a lot of really amazing engineering that's been put into this probe, and they successfully landed it on Mars. I mean, if you can just imagine, I mean, a lot of these probes have landed in the past. Sometimes they crash, sometimes the parachutes don't deploy, or they land too hard and they fall over, and then they've just wasted millions of dollars and years of time. But this probe, sent from Earth, parachuted in and then used rockets to slowly lower this car-sized probe onto the planet. Doesn't look like much, if anything, was damaged, because, it's not easy doing it. But prepare yourselves, friends, for a whole lot more photos and sounds from Mars, from this probe. They plan to do a lot of science with it, so it's very, very interesting, very, very amazing. And I think there's over 20 different cameras on this probe that will do all sorts of things, all packed into this little package, which is just blows my mind. So anyways, I'll be bringing you more news from Mars, from the Perseverance space mission from NASA. From Mars, we come back to Earth, but still talking about space. There was a UFO sighting recently, and authorities still do not quite have an explanation about what exactly went on. It's happened late last week, where a plane, American Airlines Flight 2292 from Cincinnati, was coming into Phoenix, and around 1:19 Central Standard Time, they saw a long cylindrical cruise missile-looking object that flew over them real fast. And they're not quite sure what it was, but it startled them to the point where they felt they had to call it in. They asked if there's anything else up there. The FAA had nothing on the radar, but both pilots saw something, and no reason to think that they didn't. They checked with the local Air Force base that maybe they were testing a cruise missile that had gone haywire and gone off in the wrong direction, which, has happened around the world, where an airliner was, this happened maybe a decade ago over the Mediterranean Sea, where an airliner was accidentally hit by a cruise missile that had flown outside of a test range and didn't self-destruct, just kept going and connected with the plane. But the Air Force said, we're not testing anything. We would never test anything in that area. So they saw something, and they're not sure what it was. Wasn't a plane. Air Force said, well, no, that's not our stuff. So it is literally an unidentified flying object, technically a UFO. American Airlines, now we would not know about this. However, a blogger recorded the transmission by chance, just by chance. He was trying to record you may have heard previously that earlier this week that a airliner out of Denver, the engine kind of blew up and fragments showered all over a neighborhood, which, side note, you should look up. There's like footage from a door camera, like those doorbell cameras where it's a quiet street, and then you hear like things hitting trees, and then this big piece of airplane part slams into the street, bounces up, and like just rolls around like out of nowhere. Pretty crazy stuff. Anyways, that guy was trying to record the airline transmission of the Mayday call, like our engine blew up, we're coming back, and just caught this transmission by chance, and people don't know what it was. As you may remember from a previous story, there's some guy in a jetpack zooming around Los Angeles. This is not a jetpack guy. This was something they would see a guy in a jetpack up there that high, but it's something flying around. Strange times we live in. So I don't know if we will have an update on this, but I'll be paying attention. To quote the pilot, he said, I hate to say this, it looked like a long cylindrical object that almost looked like a cruise missile type thing moving really fast. It went right over the top of us. Whew, that is some crazy stuff. So, you're flying, which if you're not vaccinated, I don't know why you'd be flying. Maybe the truth is out there. In other air news, the wreckage of TWA Flight 800 is going to be destroyed after 25 years after its crash. As you may remember, TWA Flight 800 exploded about 12 minutes after takeoff, and was quite a mystery for quite a while of what exactly happened there. Some thought it was terrorism. Some thought it was a bomb on board. Some people thought that someone had launched a missile from a boat off the coast. Some thought it was a military shoot-down accident. It turned out to be faulty wiring that ignited some fumes in the gas tank. But it was one of the most expensive investigations of all time. It lasted 4 years and cost $40 million. It had left JFK International Airport in July 1996 to head for Paris and exploded the 747, killing all 230 people on board. There were a lot of conspiracy theories around this plane disaster, and was for many years before 9/11 one of the big sort of mysteries and the air disasters that were here in the United States. But like I said, it took them 4 years to figure out what's going on. But the wreckage of it, pieces were washing up on shore for many weeks. They were pulling wreckage out of the ocean, and they basically pieced together a lot of the airplane to try to figure out what had happened. And they examined different parts and whatnot. And they've kept the wreckage in a warehouse for the last 25 years as a training tool to air disaster, air crash investigators, to show you what to look for, what to see, and they're using it as a training tool. But with the advances in technology, they've done a complete 3D scan of the wreckage of TWA Flight 800. So for historical purposes, they'll be able to still use this for training purposes. So they don't actually need this large wreckage of the 747 anymore. And so they are now destroying it. They had promised the families that the wreckage would never be displayed in a museum or anything like that. So they are going, now that they have scanned it and pieced it back together. Well, they pieced a lot of it back together, and now that they've scanned all the pieces to use for further training, they will be destroying the wreckage and getting rid of it so no one can see it again. Apparently, one of the big reasons why they're decommissioning it, not only technology, but they've had to rent out a 30,000 square foot warehouse to keep it there. It's not like you just don't keep an airframe just anywhere. The lease is running out, and they decided to get rid of it, cut some costs. They scanned everything, and they don't need to keep this anymore. But I just bring this up because one, I remember this when this happened, whatnot, and it was a big news story. And actually, I went to college with somebody who came from a town where I believe it was like the French Club or a trip to Paris, where several dozen or 24 parents and students were all going to Paris for this high school trip, and they were on the plane, and obviously, they never came back. So it was a very devastating incident in that town that still has some pretty strong feelings there today. I know this person very well, and they talk about how it impacted them, and this person talks about grief and tragedy and tries to help other people. And anyways, this wreckage will be disposed of. You actually could visit this. Actually, they do give tours of the training facility, but they had a strict no photo rule. You cannot take photos of the wreckage or anything like that. You had to hand over your phones and whatnot because they were very, very sensitive about any footage or videos of this wreckage getting out there after so many years. So, wanted to denote that because it's a very important thing, and I'm glad that the NTSB are honoring their agreement with the families to dispose of it, so that it's not, people don't get like souvenirs or anything like that, won't be displayed in any museum. And now that they're done with it, it will be finally destroyed, and hopefully further closure. People all affected by this tragedy, they'll get that closure. Moving along to business, my friends, IKEA. IKEA, the Swedish furniture store, has printed its very last paper catalog. They announced last year they'd be discontinuing their paper catalog because of cost, and that lots of people just sort of do stuff online now. So there's not a whole lot of use for paper catalogs. So they decided to end it after many years, 70 years. After 70 years of paper catalogs, they're ending it. Now, IKEA is ending paper catalogs, but other printed catalogs are still going. Whatnot. There is a sort of, not like a culture, but there's folks that really dig the paper catalogs, and some catalog companies are very flourishing in this time. But IKEA has decided to be done with it. And my friends, if you got some money to spare, you can have your very own last IKEA catalog. They're on eBay right now, in perfect unread condition, stored in an acid-free magazine protector. You can get it for $17, and it can be yours. Now, if you are a IKEA catalog collector, and yes, there are those who are, you could get one from 1974, printed in Swedish, for a cool $550. So, I mean, I don't know why you would have that, but hey, you know what? I don't know why Kanye West has 500 shoes. Some people like shoes, some people like IKEA catalogs. But, IKEA is still plugging right along. They're still a healthy business, but they are done doing their printed catalogs. Fun fact, friends, I used to work for a catalog company. I guess it's almost 5 years now before they kind of went belly up. They did not sort of embrace the internet age and whatnot, but I used to work for a catalog company, had a warehouse full of as-seen on TV items. In fact, if you pop to ColtSebastianTaylor.com, you might see some old YouTube videos of me demonstrating a variety of different products. Boy, it was a lot of fun working there. But anyways, IKEA, no more paper catalogs. You have to do all your shopping online now, which, if you want to be honest, that's pretty much the way the majority of people shop anyways. Moving along, but still in business, Zillow. Zillow is a very popular real estate website where you can look up the price of homes and sort of buy or sell homes. Well, they have a tool on there called a Zestimate, like estimate with a Z on it, Zestimate. And now they're using their well-known tool to make cash offers on homes. They're very confident about this tool. They've They use a variety of public records and artificial intelligence to come up with the price, and it's improved over the years. And right now, their error rate is less than 2% of a price of a house. So they're pretty spot on with this tool. And now they're making cash offers on houses just based on this tool. So if you are a homeowner, you can go to Zillow. You can put in your address and look to see what the value of your house is and how it's changed over time. And chances are it's within a 2% accuracy on there. One of the big shots there said on Twitter, "We are now a small but important step closer realizing the big, hairy, audacious goal, the BHAG, we set 15 years ago of putting a real price on every rooftop, enabling home shoppers to magically fly over those neighborhoods and see those prices." Zillow launched its Zestimate in 2006. It got sued, actually, in 2017 by a bunch of homeowners in Illinois saying that the Zestimate tool was inaccurate and difficult to update and just undervalued their houses, making it hard for them to sell. But a federal court sided with Zillow saying, you know what, it's actually pretty accurate. So pretty amazing stuff. I'm on Zillow every now and again. You can see how much the house across the street is worth. You can see how much house is yours is worth. Your house is worth. And it's a pretty amazing tool. I'm honestly pretty impressed with it. You should really check it out. But if you live in 20 markets, they're slowly rolling this out. If your house has gone up in significant amount of value, you can get a cash offer about it. And then you sell your house. As easy it is to buy something on Amazon. I think they want to become like the Amazon of real estate, where you can just buy and sell things at will, which is pretty amazing. So check it out. I play around with it. I enjoy it. It's a good way to waste 20 minutes. But Zillow, once again, Zillow is making cash offer on houses using their Zestimate tool, which is apparently very, very accurate. You know what is invaluable, my friends? Your time. But your time is well spent. Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., listening to The Rock Sessions, hosted by my good friend Rox. It is a drive time show, and it's going to make sure that your evening commute home is fun. How, you ask? I'll tell you. It features the hottest music on the charts, as well as some other surprises in between. She will make it rock style. I mean, listen, she's the best. She's the greatest. You need to listen to her right here on AWSM Radio. Tell her that Colt Sebastian Taylor sent you. If she gets that enough, she'll tell me to stop saying that, and that'll be real funny to me. So listen to my friend Rox during the Rock Sessions, once again, Monday through Friday, 5 p.m. to 7 p.m., right here on AWSM Radio. Finally this week, folks, I'm going to talk about the flu and how it's not really popping up much this year. Scientists and doctors have reported record low flu cases this year. Why? Is it black helicopters? Is it all conspiracy? No, just turns out that if you're taking precautions to not get COVID-19 by wearing a mask and wearing gloves and washing your hands, things that prevent this highly infectious disease from infecting you, it also stops less infectious things like the flu from getting it also. So because people being a lot more mindful about their hygiene, it has also knocked down the flu. But don't worry, I'm sure it will be back next year. It's just taking the season off. But scientists do note that they don't understand the mechanics exactly. They think it's because people are masked and washing hands. But when epidemics pop up around the world, minor things like the flu and the common cold kind of vanish from the landscape, kind of get pushed to the side a bit, and they're studying it. It's a very interesting phenomenon. But if you haven't gotten the flu this year, you're amongst friends, because flu cases are way down because everyone's wearing a mask and washing their hands. So maybe after COVID-19, maybe we keep doing that so we have less flu over here. Just a thought. Well, my friends, that just about wraps up this week's Saturday Report with me, Colt Sebastian Taylor. I had so much news today. I even get the Tiger Woods having a car accident, but I'm sure you're well aware of that. But anyways, thank you for joining me here today. And remember, you can find me on the Twitter, on the Rizzle, on the Instagram, and now even on Cameo at Colt S. Taylor. So please, feel free to engage with me there. Let me know if there's stories I should be covering, something that I missed, or something I just don't understand and said wrong. Love to hear from all my fans around the world. And of course, if you haven't already, and if you haven't already, you're a fool, go to ColtSebastianTaylor.com and keep up to date with all the things that I'm doing throughout the week, the month, year, etc. And yeah, all right. Until next week, my friends, I am, of course, your friend, Colt Sebastian Taylor, and I'll see you later.